Hello again. Well, today we're going to tie a little stalking bug. It's a stalking bug that comes in this collection here. Um, I just call them my Avington stroke Beaver Springs stalking damsel set. They're great little stalking bugs. They're very visual. They're very heavy. And they work. For those big doubles that reside in those kind of waters, whoopsie-daisy, they just work. So it's the white one I'm going to tie for you today. So in the vise is a heavy wire long shank hook, and on it is a 3.5mm hot orange tungsten bead. And now I've just put about 7 turns of 0.4 lead wire just to make it extra heavy. Like I said, it is a heavy fly. So we're going to pull the lead with the thread. The thread, by the way, is UTC Ultra in white 140. Pull the lead to really jam it against the bead. Come over and trap the little tag of wire. A little tag of wire that I always leave when I wind, and that's what I actually trap in. Take the thread all the way down to opposite the barb of the hook. And now take a white marabou feather and just take a nice chunk, really. You can sort of get a feel for how much you take, but I don't know, it's just a couple of good pinches, really. You can put too much marabou on a fly. Less is more sometimes with a lot of things in fly tying. So when you've pinched it, just have a look at it and you know what looks good and what not. So, that looks fine to me. We trim the skinny bits off the end, the bits that come off that stalk, and then we take all the fluff as usual. So we could just tie the stalks in, tie it in on top of the hook, bring the thread back. Oh, we got a couple of bits that kind of stuck out there. I probably could have done that a lot tidier, but that'll be all right. Tail length, about a hook shank and a half. And then we're going to come in with some red mirror flash, good old red mirror flash. I love this stuff on my stalking bugs. It's small enough to not be like really in your face, and it moves really well with the fly, and that's what I like about it. Crystal flash is good. Crystal flash is very stiff. This is like a really fine flashaboo. Now I'm going to tie it in maybe 3/4 of the length of the marabou tail. I'm going to pinch it on my side of the hook, and I'm going to bring the thread over a couple of times just to skewer it. Bring the rest over to your side, wind the thread down, and then we're going to take the thread all the way up to the back of the bead. And now I'm just going to turn the fly up, and I'm going to trim the flash 3/4 length of the tail. Now I'm going to spin my bobbin anti-clockwise to flatten this thread out. I'm going to make sure that, whoopsie-daisy, I'm going to make sure the lead is tied in. I'm just going to put a bit of moisture on the tail there to keep her in check while I'm doing this, he says. Now we're just going to come round, and I want to make sure that the latter half, this half, the tail half, is just built up. We're going to put a chenille up here, so I'm not really going to do many, if any, turns up that end of the hook. And when I think I've got enough, there you go, it's all covered in, all looks good. Then we're going to take the thread to the eye again, tie in some UV straggle fritz. This is pearl and it's extra fine. We're just going to take a piece of this and we're going to tie it in. Oops, no we're not, we're going to drop it on the floor. Oh dearie me. We're going to tie it in behind the bead and run it down to the halfway point where you finished building your little thread body. And now we're going to come around with it. I'm going to sweep everything back every time I come round. Once I've come round a couple of turns, I'm going to pull, keep my thumb on the back of the hook to support the hook, pull, and you'll really tighten it up. This stuff does stretch a little bit. Just come around with a couple more turns, one right up behind the eye, give it a good pull, follow it up with the thread, catch it, come over a couple of times, pull everything back and tie a couple of times behind that bead. It's really locking that UV strang fritz in. And now it's just simply a case of varnishing the thread and whip finishing, really. Very quick and easy fly to tie, really. So I'm going to put my whip finish tool onto the thread. I'm going to use my thumb and index finger to sweep all the little bits of flash in the struggle fish out of the way. We're going to come around 1, 2, 3, 4. 4's plenty. We're going to tighten it up. Now I've just had one little bit of flash on the top there, misbehave and come forward of that whip finish. I'm just going to get rid of him. There we go. You always get one. And there it is. That's a great little stalking bug. Like I said, it sinks well. It's very effective pull through the water quite quickly as well. And it just catches fish. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel and like it. And, you know, feel free to drop me a message and ask me anything you like, really. Anyway, now the trout season's started, get out there and catch some fish. Thank you.